Hi everyone, Amanda Jane here from Amanda Jane Crafts, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet the Floret Stitch. And this is a simple 2-stitch repeat pattern, and it's a 2-row repeat pattern. We start off with a row of double crochet in US terms, and then we follow it by double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch to create the second row in the pattern, and it creates these wonderful little angled stitches that have this line across it, so it gives a nice texture, it gives a nice drape. It would be quite a lovely stitch for a scarf. I have to say, I think it's quite open for a jumper, but it depends how you like your jumpers. So for an intermediary cardigan, sweater for the autumn, it would be great. Maybe for something where you need a bit more warmth, you might like to do a version of this using a half double crochet. But let's do this one today. So I'm demonstrating this in an aran weight yarn and a size 5mm crochet hook. And you can start off with an even number of stitches. If you do an odd number, it doesn't really matter. You just have to remember what you do at the end of each row. So let's start by doing a small sample. Create your slip knot here. Insert it onto your hook. And let's do a sample of 16. 1, 2, 3. That's just yarn over, pull through. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I'm going to do 2 chain, and I'm going to stop there. So I've done an even number plus 2. And I'm going to work my first double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, because I find that 3 chain for my double crochet is too tall, and I'd rather have it slightly on the tent side. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the top loop in this instance. This is for simplicity rather than you know, there's so many different ways of starting off your foundation chain. I'm just going to go into the top chain for simplicity. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next chain on your foundation, through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. And I'm going to keep working my way across, doing these double crochet in the usual way. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So double crochet is a US term, treble crochet is the UK equivalent. I use the US terms because I find that most of my audience is in the US and Canada. We just have to check on patterns, what terms are being used for a crochet pattern. Always check at the top. I don't like that tension, so I'm just undid that stitch. So catch up with me when I've finished this row. So I've reached the end of my row, and I'm just going to do the last stitch, and then we're ready to turn for the next row. So chain 2 and turn your work to the left, and the reason I do that is so that I keep my hand in the same place. Here I'm going to do a double crochet into this very first stitch. So my chain 2 does not count as a stitch, or chain 3 if your crochet tension is slightly different from mine. So that's our first stitch, a double crochet. Then we're going to do a slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop a little way, and then pull it through the stitch, the loop on your hook. Then we're simply going to do a double crochet in the normal way, and then a slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. And then our normal double crochet and a slip stitch. So it seems a bit strange to be doing a tall stitch followed by a very short stitch, and it's only when you've done a few rows that you're going to see the effect of this, because the first couple of rows don't give you the full impression of how this works up. I'm using a variation of this stitch for a cardigan, and that's using a half double crochet and a slip stitch, and that's working out quite nicely. So when I get a bit further with that, I will do a video of that version of the Floret Stitch. Rather a nice name, the Floret Stitch. So we're coming up to the end of the row. I'm going to finish it with our slip stitch, and then this time I'm going to do 3 chain, because that slip stitch is lower down, and I want to do a row of double crochet starting in the very first gap. So just into that very first stitch here. So these slip stitches are quite tight to work in, so you've got to just be a little bit firm, I would say. So you're going to go into the, let me show you here, into this stitch here. That's the slip stitch. Make sure you capture 2 strands, and we're doing a whole row of double crochet. Now we come to the next stitch. We're not going in this bar here, we're going into the, you just twist your work slightly towards you and you'll see the top of the stitch there. Now don't forget to go into this slip stitch here. So you do have to push it through, because a slip stitch tends to be on the tighter side. And then we're doing our, the stitch afterwards is very easy to do. Just a bit more, gather a bit more yarn up into the slip stitch with our double crochet and into our double crochet, to the slip stitch and into the double crochet, into the slip stitch. So this works up very quickly, even though it maybe takes a little longer to actually search for it, where you're putting your crochet hook, because you're using double crochet stitches. It does work up particularly quickly. I nearly reached the end of this row. Now we know we started the beginning of our row with a double crochet, so we're going to make sure we end neatly, and there we have the emerging pattern. Now I'm going to do in one more row of the double crochet and the slip stitch so that you get the full effect. So into the very first space with your double, and then a slip stitch. Don't make the slip stitch too tight. Equally, you don't want to pull it right up to the height of a double crochet, because then you would lose the effect. But probably not as tightly as if you were using a slip stitch for joining two pieces of work together. Slip stitches are used to join work. Say if you're working in the round, they're also used at the top of a piece of work. I use it as on the top of, say, a soap saver or a wash mitt or something like that, where you don't want the edge to stretch. A slip stitch is very useful. So we're coming up to the end of this row. We're going to finish with our slip stitch. Oh, not a single crochet. 3 at the end of this row. Turn our work, and let's have a little look at how it's working up. We'll compare it with the lovely orange version that we have here. So you can see it works up very quickly, and it makes a really lovely relief. It shows up very well in this dark blue colour. So there we have it. This is the Floret Stitch. Have a go. I think a scarf would be the best thing to try with this. I know we're only August, if you're watching this the day I publish it, but don't worry, September and October will come round all too quickly. So thanks so much for watching the Floret Stitch tutorial, and I hope you have a lovely day. If you've enjoyed this video, press the subscribe and the bell and give us a thumbs up, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Take care, have a great day. Bye.